So as you can see on the screen, there is an image of a hidden wall and a road. Now the beauty of this picture, the image, is bit of in a 3D shape. As you can see, the wall is going inwards in the direction. So that's the orientation of the wall. It's going like that, that. So it has some perspective towards it, going inwards in particular angular directions. And then the road going straight way into that directions. So far, Photoshop is mainly a two-dimensional software. It's a 2D software. Recently, they have introduced 3D panels, so we can do a bit of 3D in it. But otherwise, mainly it is a two-dimension. It is flat on your face. So when it is flat and we can't see the depth to it, which is the third axis, um, Photoshop still allows you some of the interesting techniques in which you can do some rendering in a 3 dimension. You can create a grid which can allow you to work in a 3 dimensions. So this is where my next demonstration comes and filter comes into picture, called vanishing point. Now vanishing point will allow us to draw a grid in a perspective angle, in whichever angles we like, and in that perspective angle we can drop our graphics, so they will inherit the grid's perspective angle as it is. Okay, so first we need to see how to draw the grid and then how to drag and drop the contents inside our grid. So to show this vanishing point and how we can draw our graphics in a perspective angle, I've got this Union Jack which is on the second layer. Now see, if I want to show this Union Jack in this wall, I can't draw it straight away. You can see if I'll drop it onto the stage, it will still inherit its own orientation, which is flat 2D front view, but the wall is in an angle, it's in a perspective angle. So we need this flag to go inwards along with the wall. Okay, now to do that we just need to select the flag and go and apply vanishing point grid to the wall layer. So for that I'm literally going back and selecting a particular layer. So when you actually control and click on the thumbnail of Union Jack, you can see it selects the contents of the layer. This is a shortcut in Photoshop. In one click, if you want to select entire contents of the layer, you hold on your control key or a command key in Mac and simply click on the thumbnail. When you do that, it goes and selects your contents. Now I've done that. Once my selection is actually whatever I want to copy, go to edit, copy your flag's contents, and now I can actually deselect it as well. So I've hidden the flag, I've deselected my contents, and now I can go back to the background layer. Here at the background layer, let me just duplicate it. On the duplicate layer, you go to the filter, and under the filter, just under the liquify, there is a vanishing point filter. It's a new addition from CS4. It's not there before CS4. So with the vanishing point, same like liquify, it gives its own panel. It shows the preview of your image in the center, and on the left hand side there's a short list of 6-7 tools which you can use in your vanishing point section. Now here the first tool by default it selects is in the top left corner, which is actually create the plane grid. So as this tool is already selected, what you should do is, this is how it looks. It follows your cursor with a target icon or target mark. Now I'm literally going to the, starting from here 1, you can see my cursor follows my initial click points. From there I'm going to go here, then coming downwards It joins the point there, but you can obviously stretch it backwards here, like that. Now that's not the end of story. We have option here called Edit Plane Tool, which will allow us to actually resize the grid like that. You can even hold on to the points and you can stretch them across like this. So all I'm trying to do here is create a nice three-dimensional grid like that. Do you see there's a blue outlines over it? All I've done is drop the 4 points, and then using the Edit Plane tool, I'm actually adjusting it so I get a proper three-dimensional angle to my graphic. Once you get your grid pen across your graphic, you just press Ctrl V, and because I have copied that selection earlier, it literally pastes it in my vanishing point filter. But now here also it's still pasting it in a flat two-dimensional way. But if I can move my cursor over the jet, over the Union Jack, I can click and hold on it and drag it inside my grid. Do you see what happened? The moment it flags inside the grid, it actually inherits that three-dimensional perspective of your grid. And then you can adjust your flag. If you think that's too big, you can actually go and use free transform tool within the grid, and you can control your flags like that. You can make it shorter. You can edit your grids as well. I'm just trying to see whether how much we can edit here to make it a bit more shorter. So I can inherit it like that. I mean, let's say I want to something like this. And you can say, you can use another edit pen tool, but I need to have a text copied for that. But this is how it actually inherits. And when I say OK, do you see the flag has actually taken the perspective of the entire layer. Now here, that's a new layer, which is the whole image, including the flag. Now when it is there, you can actually play around and use a cloning stamp tool with a different diameter and hardnesses. And on this layer, I can actually use Alt, copy certain parts of these bricks and the wall, because it's looking quite flat now. So you can use cloning to do mix and match. So we can see the flag quite nicely merging and getting the texture of the wall as well halfway through somewhere. It shouldn't look like this when it's at the broken wall here. So we should actually give a patch of broken wall. I mean, you can do much better than me, so just play around. Even at the footer, just make sure you give. Something like that, and you can have the perspective angle for your jacks. Now you can also use other techniques of using hue saturations and black and white colors, so it can submerge into your colors combinations. Now the way it has inherited the contents in a perspective, For the same layer, you can go back into filter, vanishing point. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna go back, and here, let me just take a new file, and in the new file, I will use text tool with any text I like, and I can just type England. Okay, that's the text I'm using. I'll make sure it's in the white color. Now, if I'll use Control click on the England text layer, it will actually select the whole text which is in the white color right now from my stage. Because now we're going to actually copy this text and paste it in the vanishing point as well. So if I'll go back, make sure it is selected, copied, go back to your file, make sure you present on the layer where you want to actually paste it. Use your filter vanishing points. Your grid is already there, so I'm just going to select Control V to paste my text. You can hold your text and bring it in a perspective here as well. There you go. That's outside, and now it comes in here. When I say OK, yeah. So that's the use of vanishing points. This technique is used quite a lot in when you want to create a virtual presentation of your graphics on a 3D objects. So if a client wants you to design an Oyster card cover, you should have an Oyster card shaped object in a 3D, and you can draw a vanishing point on it and drag and drop your graphics to show. If you have a serial box and you have created a box, a graphic in Photoshop to show, then you can actually draw vanishing points on a standard box. You can find lots of 3D boxes in Google, and you can actually drag and drop your graphics you have created in that box. So vanishing point is beautiful when you want to convey your Photoshop graphics to the clients on how they will actually look in a 3D environment. Without this, there is no way you can use Photoshop or any other software to give a virtual realization of your products. Before that, only 3D Max or AutoCAD kind of softwares can do all of this. But now Photoshop has stepped up, and it is helping you to do this kind of additions. So there you go. Let's try if we can work with vanishing points in Photoshop.